Clean up on aisle 5. Sounds like my life right now. Just one big mess.
What's going on?
It's my property taxes.
What?
I am behind, and I am so worried that I'm going to lose my house. I can pay some of it, but I can't pay it all at once.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm Eric Sabri, the Wayne County Treasurer. The last thing I want is for anyone to lose their property to tax foreclosure. We have assistance programs to help. Visit us at treasurer.waynecounty.com, and we'll help you keep your home.
Clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it, clap it. So I am excited. We are in the living room with LadyLove. Welcome, welcome. We are on Courageous Detroit Network. We are in the spot. We are hot and we are happy here. I am elated because I have my brother, who is in the living room with me today. I am honored to sit next to him. For one, I know him personally because I grew up with him, and he grew up with my family, and we went to the same high school, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I am sitting next to a prestige artist and businessman here in the city of Detroit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, queens and kings. Sitting next to me is John Houston, the legend.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome.
And what an introduction. I appreciate that.
Hello, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Who are you? Who is John Houston Smith?
Well, I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a brother. I'm a son. I'm a friend. I'm a business owner. I'm a everyday guy. I'm a child of God, and I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful to be here.
I'm grateful to be here. One thing you said was you are a child of God, and that hits home with me. Why are you a child of God?
Well, I was born in it, number one. Born and raised in Detroit. My father and mother instilled godly principles in me, not just from what they told me about, but by what they showed me.
Okay.
So it wasn't hard to grasp the importance of living a godly lifestyle. And that's just who I am. That's just the path I chose. And I choose that path every single day. Yep. Being
a businessman, being a artist, how do you incorporate your spirituality in that? And where did it begin?
Where my business journey? Well, I used to be a police officer in the city of Detroit.
Awesome.
And I went to church, and we had a guest preacher by the name of Prophet Ty Hall. And in that service, he prophesied over my life that I wasn't supposed to be a police officer. He said God had different plans for me, and that I was going to go on and become a gym owner. And it was funny because at that time, I didn't train anybody but myself, right? So imagine me being in that service, hearing that prophecy, and it kind of caught me off guard. Mm-hmm. And after that service, a young lady heard that testimony or heard that prophecy and asked me, could I train her? And in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't know, because I've never trained anybody but myself up to this point, And I told her I would. And it was just a leap of faith at that point. And so we go outside and we start training, just me and her. And she lost 17 pounds in 3 weeks just from the knowledge I had from training myself. That's awesome. And that one person turned into 3 people. 3 turned into 7. 7 turned into 21. And then when I got up to 21 clients, I looked up and I'm like, okay, this must be something. And I'm proud to say that here we are, 10 years later, and I've trained thousands of people across not just Detroit, but we got a virtual platform where we train people all over the country and in different countries. So, and it all stemmed from that prophecy and that leap of faith. So that's who I am, and that's just how everything started.
As a businessman, absolutely. And your leap of faith took you to a space of trust. So you trusted what someone deposited in you.
Absolutely.
And you believed that.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing and sensing that, of course, God always gives the deposit and then gives it to the receiver. But your training, you had already been training.
Well, I've been training myself.
You had already been training in the world. You had already been training in movement, your mindset, your will to. You had already been training. But God put you in a space to train others physically. Mm-hmm. But you had already been training.
It's funny how God does it. Like,
isn't it something?
Yeah, he sets the end from the beginning. Yeah. And so he uses every experience to shape us and mold us for his ultimate purpose. We think it's our purpose, but it's not really ours if we're doing it the right way.
Absolutely. Because when you were a police officer, you had to train in. How did that, you ain't even got to go through the whole process of police cadets and all of that good stuff, or however that looked. But you were training in that space.
Yes.
But also in life.
Yes.
So what an honor.
Yes.
Because then you were able to take your experience, your wisdom, your courage to even move in that space and give it to somebody else, and they trusted you with it.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. Ups and downs, highs and lows. And to be honest, when you're stepping out on faith, there's some things you just don't know. It's some things you don't understand, and that's what faith is. It's just trusting that whatever path God has you on, you're not going to understand every single thing, but you're not supposed to. That's what makes faith faith.
That's what makes faith faith. Oh, yeah. I am a witness to that. Oh, God, am I a witness to that. And then with the business, you being a businessman, in that aspect, with training others to, be physically fit, one needs to be physically fit to be able to continue their journey.
Yes.
So with that, how did the music start?
Well, music has always been a part of my life. I had been singing since I was 4 years old in my father's church. Yeah. And then when I turned 16, I started doing praise and worship as like just money as a young kid. You know, as somebody would go get a job at Meijer or Walmart, I was a praise and worship leader at 16. You know, so I had been singing all my life,
and that was your work.
Yeah, and so even through the 10 years of me being a business owner and a trainer, I still did praise and worship every Sunday at my brother's church, and so music was always a part of my life. Artistry just wasn't. I never was intrigued to become an artist. Like I was never led to become an artist until the pandemic. Pandemic comes and I get a call to, and I said I wasn't going to talk about this, but I kind of have to because it's part of the story. I get a call from a guy who had visited our church, but I didn't know he was a producer from BET's Sunday Best. And he obviously saw something, heard something that he thought would fit the show. And he asked me to sing over the phone. So I did, and I was in the gym at the time when I sang.
Ain't that something?
It's crazy. So
training
flew me to Atlanta with thousands of other singers from around the country, around the world, and I made top 50. So after I made top 50, they flew me back out and made top 20.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was crazy, and then it was
top 20.
Yeah,
That's
but
awesome.
It's interesting. Because God's path is always different. I made top 20 and then the pandemic happened. So they sent everybody home, you know, and I go home and I was fine because I didn't need the money. I was making money, you know, doing what I was doing at the gym. And he was in town, the same producer from BET. He flew to Detroit for something else. And he called me he was like, hey man, are you here? I'm like, yeah man, I'm at the gym. He was like, I'm about to pull up on you. Send me the address. So I sent him the address. He pulls up on me at the gym and he said, are you doing music right now? And I told him, I'm like, I'm gonna be straight up. Like, I make enough money doing what I'm doing and I'm cool right where I'm at. And he was like, and his exact words were, if you don't do music, you're gonna be letting so many men who look like you, move like you down. He's like, you got a gift. He was like, and you got to share that gift with the world. He was like, so I ain't trying to tell you what to do. He was like, but I'm trying to tell you it's something else God got for you. After that conversation, I called a guy I grew up with that I knew who was a producer in the city, Dustin Slater. And that night, I called him and I'm like, yo, I don't have no songs yet. I had never written a song of my own up until this point, you know. And I told him, I said, I don't have no music yet, but we got to start somewhere. And I just started to write music and to go to the studio and to, you know, labor with different ideas that I had for songs. And it was just crazy how God started to speak to me in that season. Now, mind you, the world is shut down.
It is.
It ain't nothing to do.
2020.
So I had a bunch of time,
right.
you know, and gyms got hit the hardest
They did.
at that time. So I couldn't train nobody. You know, I was just working out in the house. Everybody was on lockdown, on shutdown, and I was going to the studio. And from that season, birthed my first album, which was entitled John 3:16. And it's a very eclectic project in that you get jazz on that album, you get contemporary gospel, you get worship, you get a little bit of R&B feel, all centered in Christ. You know what I'm saying? It was just crazy how God used me and how he birthed such a different kind of project out of me in that season. And that's where my artistry started.
And he didn't even want to sing. He was like, no, I'm gymming.
Yeah.
I'm working out. Not just me, but he's teaching others to work out. He's giving a life and a story for others to fulfill. But it's a beautiful thing because God always has the first and last say. You are in the living room with Lady Love. You are listening to John Houston Smith. And if you would like to call in and ask any questions, you can give us a call at area code 313-573-8689. Now, last time I gave y'all that number, I almost gave you my phone number. So I'm giving you the right digits. That's area code 313-573-8689. I'm so happy that you chose to have courage and faith and move. I can attest to that space because when you have faith and you have courage, you have to trust, and that's a fragile space. It's one of the most fragile eggshell walking spaces that one can ever be on, but that's the best way to be. Because when you are in that mindset, what can be wrong? What can go wrong? Anything can go wrong. What can go right? Anything can go right. But because you're trusting,
Yeah.
you're letting it be.
Absolutely.
It's like all systems go.
Yeah. And one thing I will say is when it's God, it's scary, but there's a peace in it because God pays for everything that he orders.
It is.
So I think sometimes we step out on what we think is faith, which is actually ambition that we have on our own. And when it don't work, we like to blame God. But it's like God ain't tell you to do that. So you can't blame him. He ain't tell you to marry him. He ain't tell you to marry her or to start that business or to, And so sometimes we step out on what we call faith, and it's not faith, it's blind ambition. But when it is God and when it is ordained by him, it may seem dim at times, but even that's a part of the plan.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's just where I am. And to be honest, it's still some days where I don't know what I'm doing, but I know that I'm on the right path because I know that he got me where he want me in this season.
And God always gives you a confirmation. God always gives you some kind of confirmation, especially when you ask.
Yes.
But when you have that relationship, you can't help but ask. Like, guide me, be my eyes, ears, feet, toes, nails, hair. Yeah.
Well, God don't yell; He whispers. And you can't hear a whisper unless you got your ear fine-tuned to Him. And so a lot of times we be waiting on God to send a loud sign, and God don't send loud signs. He sends subtle whispers, and if you're not in the posture to receive what he's saying, you'll miss it. Because sometimes he says yes, but sometimes he says no.
I love it. We're going to go to a break. Thank you so much for watching. Come back and listen. Just don't change that dial. Go get you something to drink real quick, maybe a little bit of popcorn, because we're getting ready to talk about one of the songs that you had just heard and a few others. We're back.
I'm the tax lady. Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? Then listen carefully. You may be able to pay the IRS less and save thousands of dollars because right now there are special government tax programs for people like you who owe the IRS. We can even help you if you have unfiled tax returns. And if you qualify, you'll pay less money to the IRS or state. Stop worrying about wage garnishments and bank levies and call the number on the screen right now for a free tax review. We know what you're going through. We help good people like you every day pay the IRS or state less taxes all the time. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, call now for your free, no-obligation consultation with a tax professional. Don't fight the IRS alone. Call the Tax Ladies team today.
Call the tax lady at 855-325-1720.
Offer is so good, I'm going to repeat it. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, even up to the 80s, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for 6 days. All meals included for only $2.99. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. All meals, all drinks, $2.99. We'll even give you a free cruise or land package if you're one of the first 50 people to call right now. Again, come to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico for only $2.99. Be one of the first 50 people to book right now in our luxurious, all-inclusive resort. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, even up to the 80s, you deserve a great vacation. So take it right now. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Call now and get a free cruise or land package on top of your trip.
Call 877-543-3960. That's 877-543-3960. Again, 877-543.
You are watching Courageous Detroit Network, and we are in the living room with LadyLove. Thank you all so much for watching and being here. We have our wonderful and an amazing guest, John Houston Smith, in the building. What I want to go over a little bit now, John, is your music.
Okay.
So John has effortlessly spoke on his history, on how his journey started with the music. But now we want to hear it. If you've never heard John's voice, I've heard him live. So now it's your turn to hear him. Now, he may not be live in the living room today, but he's going to be able to show you his experience in a minute. We're going to play a video for you. It's called Do For You, but we're going to talk a little bit about Soulmate. Now, Soulmate was the song that came in the beginning of the show. And what I heard about Soulmate was a beautiful, beautiful connection.
Thank you.
Talk about that for us, please.
Okay, so last year I got married.
Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm blessed to say that I'm a husband now. And I'm
That's
happily married.
That's a strong word, ain't it?
Yeah.
I'm a husband. Like,
yeah.
did you hear the syllable?
Yeah.
I'm a husband.
Yeah, I'm happily married too. See, some people are married, and then you have people who are happily married, and I fall under that category.
Good job. Good job, brother.
And a couple months after we got married, I tore my Achilles playing basketball with my son. So imagine.
Now, where's the Achilles?
Right. It's everything that controls from wiggling your toes to moving your ankles around.
Oh.
Everything below the knee.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
shin
like
splint
right,
type thing?
like right behind the ankle. And I was playing basketball with my son and tore my Achilles. And for about 6 months, I couldn't walk, and it was my driving foot. So my wife had to drive me everywhere. And it was the worst thing, and it was the best thing that could have happened, because in that season, we grew even closer than we already were. And I think that season was also God ordained, because it just showed me how down from me she was. She literally had to help me off the ground. When I tore my Achilles, I didn't call 911. I called her, and she literally.
Your wife is amazing.
You
I
know
love
it.
her.
Yes, she is, and she sped to the gym and picked me up off the ground, and we went to the ER. And then just from that moment, it was just like, like it was just small things that were actually big things. And it actually was a beautiful season, because I was so focused on, again, the music. I mean, at the gym, I wasn't focused on the music for real. And I couldn't train because I couldn't walk. And so I'm like, well, what can I do? I'm not going to just sit around. And so I would go to the studio, and I would have to record music sitting down. And I always record music based off of where I am in that moment, in that season. I don't go to the studio with like a plan, or like I'm gonna write this kind of song today. No, it's like I go to the studio, and whatever comes out comes out.
Love it.
Yes. And in that season, what fell out was a bunch of love music about my wife. And so I went to the studio, and my producer started playing through some samples, and words just start coming out of nowhere. you know. And I wrote this first verse, and my son had a football game that day, and so I didn't have a full song done. I just had the first verse, and I let my wife hear it. I'm like, listen to this, and she was like, "Wow, I love this." So we get to the football game, watching my son play. The whole time she's over there on her phone, and I didn't know what she was doing. I just figured she was busy with work or something. She was writing the second verse.
Oh,
and so
wonderful.
I wrote the first verse to the song. She wrote the second verse to the song. So by the time we left the football game, she was like, "Baby, I gotta let you hear something." And she let me hear it. I'm like, yo, it was crazy. It was amazing. So
Completion.
we wrote that song together, her and I. And yeah. And so it's just a true testament to our connection. That's just what it is.
And that's solid. That's so solid. And everybody's love story is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I can attest to going to the studio when you're full.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just going to flow. I mean, you hear sound and you're like, brrr, everything just shows up. Like, where did these words come from?
Right.
That's a true artist.
Yeah.
Because you trusting what's coming out of you. That is one of the best places that anyone can be.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are in a faithful, spiritual, trusting space,
things can just flow from it.
Flow from it.
Yeah, and
easy.
I kind of wrestled with, if I was supposed to put the music out, because up until this point, I was a quote unquote Christian artist, gospel artist, and I'm like, this ain't gospel, but it's still good music that needs to be heard. You know what I mean? Because all of the music today is about breaking up with your person, or what the person ain't. You know what I'm saying? We got enough music about, tearing down the relationships, or I don't want her no more, I don't want him no more, I'm gonna just do. It's enough music about that, but it's not a lot of music that push people closer together. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Yes. And I think that is also the reason why we got so much divorce and so much relationship chaos, all the men against the women. And I'm like, yo, y'all do understand we supposed to like who we with. Do you know what I'm saying? Right. And so I'm like,
we got a caller.
And
John, somebody want to talk to you.
Oh, let's go.
I'm calling back. So it look like something we got to call him back.
Yeah, but that's what kind of led me to release this kind of music in this season.
Hold on, caller.
Okay.
I think we have a caller. Okay, caller. We're going to let the caller come through.
Hi, I have a question.
Hi, caller.
How
are you? Thank you for calling.
Thank you for having me and taking my call. I had a question for John. I've been following his music for a while, and I'm wondering how soon will he be touring?
Well, when the tours call, shoot, as an independent artist, I'm learning that all of the I gotta write all the checks, and that's just to be blatant, and touring is expensive, but if and when the right tour presents itself and it makes sense. Because another thing is, I feel like whoever I tour with matters too. You know what I mean? And,
please say that again.
I don't want to be on a 30-city tour with people that my spirit don't agree with, because I let them know that my spirit don't agree with them. I'm the type of person, if the vibes ain't right, I'll leave. No questions asked. And so I feel like when the timing is right and the right tour that presents itself, will be on tour.
Maybe, caller, you can set something up and John can interview the tourists.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And one more question I have for the show that's coming up. Are there any tickets left?
Yes, there are still tickets available. If you have not already, go to eventbrite.com and just search John Houston, and you'll see our event May 17th. It's myself, Detroit's own Charity. If you haven't heard Charity, she's another one who just releases music that feeds the soul and don't deplete it. Because if you listening to the wrong thing, just like you put the wrong food in your body to tear you up, you put the wrong music in your spirit to tear you up too. But she releases great music. My brother Gene Moore is gonna be here. If you never heard Gene Moore, he's a singer's singer. He like if you mix Stevie Wonder and Daryl Coley together. Wow. It's crazy. That's and awesome. Then Grammy Award winning Susan Carroll will also be in attendance that night. It's just, if you a singer, if you like good music, if you like me, when I go hear some singing, I don't want to hear people who be lip syncing and auto tuning. I want to hear somebody who can flat foot sing. And so everybody on this show is what I consider a flat foot singer. And it's gonna be live music, dope vibes, and it's a black party, so you gotta wear all black. Don't come in there with yellow on or pink. Wear black, because you will stick out like a sore thumb. It's going to be a night of all black excellence. And if you haven't already, please go get your tickets, because it's going to be a time.
Okay. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, caller. Is this Terry?
It sure is. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for calling. I was like, that sounds like somebody that I know.
Yep. And just so you guys know, it's at the Norwood in Detroit. On Woodward. Okay, so all the location details are on Eventbrite. Just go to eventbrite.com, type in John Houston, and you'll see it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we love that our caller just mentioned your show, because that was something that I definitely wanted to elaborate and go into.
Okay.
How did you get started, and how did you collaborate with all the artists that you're going to be partnering with? Okay.
So I met Sherry a few years ago, just in passing. We had a show together here in the city of Detroit. I think it was a Juneteenth concert. Okay. And I loved her artistry and her presentation. And more than that, I loved her spirit. You know, I like people who are easy to work with. Susan Carroll and I did a show together in Vegas last year, and we instantly just clicked. She's an amazing singer. She just won a Grammy with PJ Morton. And another person who was just easy to work with, Gene Moore, sang at my wedding, and he's one of my favorite singers. And I'm not just saying that because he's my brother; like, he's one of my favorite singers. And I'm like, who can I get to come to the city? Somebody that the city has never really seen, like a lineup of people of talent, because you always see the same gospel artists in the same rooms. Or you see R&B people in the same rooms, but I wanted to merge the two and do something that hasn't been done yet. That's awesome. And God just allowed me to do it, and here we are.
And they say yes.
Yep.
When you get a yes, ooh, that yes is beautiful.
Amen.
Then you connecting with like-minded, kindred souls.
Yeah. Good people. Just good people.
Oh, it helps. Yeah. I gotta go here. Can I go here?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Go ahead, because sometimes, artists, especially Christian artists, I would tell you, are some of the most difficult and egotistical and unnecessarily rude and aggressive people you can come into contact with. Like the diva spirits and I don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? And so I don't associate myself with them kind of people, because we wouldn't get along.
And that's not okay. We are going to take a quick break. You are listening to John Houston Smith in the Living Room with LadyLove on Courageous Detroit Network. We'll be back. This is so rolling and so fun. I'm like, oh my God.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your your family's health insurance, it's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
Call 855-993-2087. That's 855-993-2087. 855-993-2087.
Some song.
Thank you.
What did I just hear? The changes, the riffs, the harmony, how he was able to riff around his voice. I know that. I can hear that.
Thank you.
And then for you to go from the bass all the way up and then back down. I said, come on. Do it again.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
What in the world, John?
Thank you.
And we had Miss Beautiful Allison, your
Absolutely.
wife.
Yep.
So this was his love song. You all, look, go and get all the albums, all the songs that John Houston Smith sings. He will be where?
At the Norwood.
At the Norwood.
May 17th.
May 17th.
Yep.
All black.
Is this, I want to say 7531, if I'm saying the address correctly. It's on Woodward. Just type in, go to eventbrite.com, and you'll see the exact address. I could be missing it. I don't want to say the wrong one. But it's the Norwood on Woodward in Detroit.
And you are going to be in for a treat because John will be in partnership with Susan Carroll and Jean Moore, and also the
Charity.
Detroit's own Charity, and so many other star-studded guests. So everybody will be in the building. Do For You was the last song that you just heard, but when we started the show, you were listening to Soulmate. So he's singing his heart out. He's opening up his door for you to come in, but also for you to see who you are. And that, my dear and my friend, is what we're supposed to be doing. Living our best life. John, I want you to close the show and let the folks know all of your website, where they can follow you, and we will close out.
Okay. You can find all of my music anywhere you stream music, from Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Pandora. I'm everywhere. If you want to follow me on Instagram, John Houston Smith. It's simple, John Houston, like Texas, Smith. And you can go to my website, johnhoustonsmith.com, to see any upcoming shows, any new releases that are dropping anytime soon. And I just appreciate all my listeners, all my followers, all my fans. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. You are watching Courageous Detroit Network in the living room with Lady Love. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you all so much, and thank you, Brother John, for being here. He's a Mumford alumni, so just everybody know that. Mumford.
You know it.
Mumford.
You know it.
Burgundy blue. Burgundy blue. Take care, everybody. Good night.
Good?
After they pay homage.